And we're live. It's an early edition of Cigar Saturday on bourbonblog.com. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show. I'm Tom Fischer, and this is Matty Rock. Tonight, we welcome José Blanco. He is Director of International Sales for Arturo Fuente. How's it going, Jose?
Good morning from here because it's 12 a.m. And Tom and Matty, thanks for doing it a little bit earlier. And if it would have been at 8 o'clock, I would have done it because I know you have a big following. And Matty is a brother. He's an uncle to Jasper, and he's my wife's one of my wife's best friends and his wife too. So it's a pleasure to be with you guys. I'll talk about cigars. I'll talk about bourbon because I don't know shit about bourbon.
Well, we can obviously learn a lot from each other. We can learn a lot. So you're based, where are you based then? Tell us where you're based.
Well, we're living in Macedonia, in Skopje, Macedonia. We've had this condo here for many, many years. And since I came back from the States and got this job with my good friend Carlito, it was for Europe and the rest of the world. So, we're living here. So all good.
Good. Well, it's great to have you. Matty, where are you at Sanja's tonight? Are you there in New Jersey? That's where you are, right?
I am, because you know who our special guest is that had to say hello to Jose.
I might know. It's Sanj Club. We can hear you.
There you go.
Look. Oh my God! Look at that.
I have a familiar looking Indian for you. Hold on. Hey, Professor!
Hey, Sanj, how are you, brother? Yeah, well, those, I think you're the only...
This is going to tell everybody your age. You're 95 years old.
Yeah, well, those are two things. I think you're the only guy in the whole world that has them. Those are unicorns. Good to see you, brother.
Wait, we're not done yet. He wanted to rub it in more, Jose. Look.
Oh, my God. Come on. I don't even have those.
You don't have a lot of things. You don't have my looks either.
That is true.
You can see why we have this kind of, this is family, Tom, so you can see you have this kind of abuse. Everybody here is, we've known each other for Jesus for almost 20 years. So there's going to be a lot of smack talk and everything else, but because Jose knows we love him, he's family.
Well, it's great to have you here, Jose. And good to see you, Sanj, as well.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yes.
Have you ever had a Señorial cigars?
Have I had what?
Señorial, the ones that Jose and Emma made?
I don't think I've had them yet. I'd love to try them.
I'm going to send you a box. That's the Lancero. Jose made 100 boxes.
Oh, man. Thank you for that. Thank you, Sanj. We really appreciate it. I can't wait to try it. Thank you so much.
No worries. Be out on a Monday. I'll give it to Matty. He'll mail it out to you Monday.
Thank you. I can't wait to try it. What an honor. Thank you so much.
You want any 65th? You want Lanceros?
Whatever you have, I'll try anything. I'm sure. Whatever. I'll let you pick.
Jose, do you want any 65th or Lanceros?
No. Don't worry. I'll get some when I stop by in Jersey soon. Don't worry.
No, you're not going to get anything. That was the point. If you would have said, yes, send me some, I would have said, absolutely not.
You guys are
all with love. All with love.
So it's always a pleasure to see our friend Sanj there, and Jose, aka, why do they call you the Professor, Jose?
Well, to be honest, that nickname came from the one and only Matty Rock, because I've been smoking for now 55 years, fourth generation. I've had the privilege to work with some of the best family-owned companies, La Aurora, Joya de Nicaragua, Ernesto Perez Carrillo, and now with my good friend of 30-something years, Carlito Fuente, Cynthia, and the Fuente family. I firmly believe in brick and mortar. I firmly believe in family-owned business. It's not the same. In big corporations, you're a number. But with people like that, the Fuentes, the Padrones, the Olivas, it's your family. To them, it's about tradition. It's about quality. It's not about quantity. It's just believing in the retailers, believing in the rollers, the farmers, the people that that make us happy.
Right.
Smoking cigars, because this is something I said for years. This is the greatest industry in the world because of three things. You're not judged by the color of your skin. You're not judged by religious beliefs. And you're not judged whether you're smoking a $3 bundle cigar or a $50 cigar. It doesn't really matter because we're all family.
That's right. Well said. Well said. And that's part of what you've loved so much about the business for all these years, right?
Oh, definitely. Look, and the name also comes because I've done blending seminars in about 30 different countries, maybe 1,500. And now with the virtuals, I've lost count, to be honest. And if it wasn't for virtual and this technology right now, we couldn't be together. So I've done, since I've been now, believe it or not, it's been already 9 months. Time goes fast with Fuente. And I've done Singapore a couple of times, New Zealand, Chile, Argentina, Canada, Romania, all West Europe, all East Europe, the Middle East. But if it wouldn't be for the technology, it couldn't be possible. Look, Corona has impacted lives, economy, countries. But at least for us and for other industries who have taken this vehicle, this tool, it has allowed us to connect. Because look, for years, I've heard of you, but if it wouldn't be for the technology and the invitation from you and Matty, we couldn't be having this conversation. And I know, look, like I said, I don't know a lot about the bourbon, but what I can tell you this, because I made these comments on shows that I've been, I think that bourbon, I could be wrong, in the last 5 to 6 years in cigars has really gone through the roof. There was a time there was rum. Then there was a time with scotch. And then I would say the last 4, 5, maybe 6 years is bourbon. I hear Bullet. I hear Tracy this, Wolford Reserve, Four Roses, all that stuff. And I mean, you see it on Twitter. You see it on Facebook. You see it on social media. You see it on Instagram. So it really has like a big, it's always sold bourbon. But I think it's just had like a huge comeback, or really got into, especially into cigar people. It's crazy.
That's right. Absolutely. It is. It's grown a lot, Jose, and hopefully we can learn a little bit from each other. All of us can. Obviously, if anybody has any questions that's watching Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, ask them below, tweet back to us. We'll field those questions to Jose. And you are watching bourbonblog.com live. We do this every Saturday night. Matty Rock and I do, but usually it's at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks to all who are joining us early, and make sure you take this video, you like it, you share it, so that all of our regular viewers, which are some of your friends and ours, know that it's happening. And if you do like this video and share this, we'll say this, maybe only say this once this time, kind of a secret for those of you who joined us. If you're listening here? Yeah, I think you are. If you like this and share this video, friends, you will get entered in a chance to win that bag of coffee, that bourbon bag of coffee that's been aged in a bourbon barrel from our friend Chad Bates there at Janus Coffee Roasters. So make sure you do that, because we'd love to have you win it tonight. But back to Jose, completely, I agree that it's amazing, the growth of bourbon, the growth of cigars, so many things of good taste, so many new craft distilleries out, even craft cigar makers. What do you think has led? What are your thoughts on what has led to the growth in cigars the last 10 years or so?
Well, first of all, let me put it to you this way. As a person who has been smoking for so many years, lived in Nicaragua, I've been in Cuba, I've been in Honduras, I've been in Mexico. I mean, I've been all over, knowing countries, lived in Dominican. I would say a lot has to do, I would say, the new tobaccos, the new countries, the new flavors that have come out. You have leaves of tobacco that have been used for a successful company through years and years and years, but also you have so much different type of wrapper grown in Ecuador, in Nicaragua, in Dominican, in Honduras, Cameroon, which to me is the best wrapper in the world, but true Cameroon, grown by the Metafel family in Cameroon. But also, we got to be honest, has social media in the last 6, 7, 8 years have an impact? Absolutely. Because now people want to or see me or Ernie or Jonathan or Carlito or Cynthia, whoever it is, take a photo, buy a box of cigars, put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram, put it in their man cave, and all the shows and all the programs that have been out there. So there's been an interconnection worldwide about this. Plus, let's be honest, cigars, it's not cigarettes, it's not other stuff that people are smoking out there. It's a legal product, which we pay taxes, basically mom and pop shops. The most successful companies, if you look at it, it's family-owned companies. You know, they really put their heart, their blood, sweat and tears into it. And then you have, you know, people that really connect. Look at my friend Matty. I mean, if there's somebody that has shown the industry and has shown not only cigar industry but other things, the power of Matty. I mean, the power of social media has been Matty. Matty can probably run for president. He might only get my vote and Dean and maybe yours and Sanj, but thousands and thousands of people will see it. So that has, in my personal opinion, social media has had a lot to do with the growth of that. That said, but also the quality of cigars, because many people have tried it through social media. They have spent a fortune. It hasn't worked because at the end of the day, it's all about this.
Quality
it's all about the cigar.
Quality is what matters. And some questions already coming in. Thanks for everyone watching and asking questions. Jose, you've been doing this again for how long? How long you been blending?
Well, blending since I would say I was 16 or 17, going to my uncle's factory in Dominican Republic when we came back. Because I was born in New York because my father was a political. Trujillo was in power for 31 years. My father was exiled from the country for 30 years. So my grandmother sent him here, I think it was like for $14 in a ship to New York to her brother. He went to school. He became an American citizen, was in the Army for 4 years in World War II, paid his taxes, came in the way and handled himself the way things should be. But then when we came back to Dominican Republic after Trujillo was killed, I started going on summers to my uncle's factory when I was around 14, and I made little cigars. And then my mother found out I was smoking, big fight with my dad, and she said that I could only smoke legally when I was 16. So on my 16th birthday, my father came in with a little bundle with about 20 cigars, gave it to me, some friends. And when my mother went to the kitchen, he pulled me aside. He said, "Don't you think all the cigars that have been missing from mine, you've been smoking, but okay, now you can legally smoke." So all the time I was going to the factory, my uncle, blending. But at that time, we didn't have a lot of tobacco. It was basically Olor, Indonesia, a little bit of Cameroon. Piloto Cubano was starting to go in, so it was not a lot of different variety of seeds. But this is what I've loved all my life. Like I said, last month it was my 71st birthday, and it was actually 55 years of smoking cigars. And I know I look good. People ask me, what is the secret? And I tell them, smoke good cigars, and when you're going to drink, make it 2 drinks of quality and not quantity.
Right. That's right. It's all about the quality and the cigars.
What, Marty?
Jose told me something a long time ago, that there's really only one thing that could ruin smoking a good cigar. And I didn't want to spill the beans, Jose, but I think they know what's coming. For those who don't, what's the only thing that could ruin smoking a good cigar? Well,
to be honest, let's say you got a cigar that was rated 95. It's going to draw well. It's going to burn well. It's going to taste well. There's only one thing could ruin it, Tom, if you didn't know it. It's smoking it next to an asshole.
So you avoid that.
I've been blessed enough to have this first-hand knowledge.
Matty does that video 2 or
I
3
must have
times
ruined
a year.
lot of people's cigars over the years. I've ruined a lot of people's cigars over the years, I guess.
Yeah, we know. You don't have to
you
say
can't
it.
win all the time.
It is about the company. It's about the atmosphere, isn't it? It's about the experience. How do you when you're looking for the right atmosphere, Jose? How do you look for the right atmosphere, and whether it's people, the view? What do you like?
To be honest, it's a combination. If I'm working on a blend, it's totally different when I would say you got 3 scenarios. You got a scenario when you're working on a blend that's totally different, where you have to be. One thing is when you're with friends enjoying a cigar, and one thing is when you're doing an event with people. When you're doing an event with people, you can have the best cigar in the world. You're gonna be enjoying it, but you're not gonna be enjoying it totally. Why? Because your focus is on shaking hands, hugging people, signing boxes, taking photos, which, with all due respect, is something. I'll put it to you this way. If I'm invited at an event and the event is from 7 to, let's say, 10, I arrive an hour before to say hello to people. And after the event is over, I stay another hour, because people came an hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours away driving to see you. So I think you have to be with people, because during the event, you're not going to have all the time to talk to people. So, you stay, you go before the event, you have a good time during the event, and after the event, to take the photos with the people, to answer questions to the people. Right. I've seen people that come in and out. It's 7 to 10, they're there, it's at 10 past 7, and they want to leave like 10 before that. To me, I criticize it in a way, but I think it's disrespectful to those people who are paying, who are driving, who are spending money to see there. Look, this is, Tom, and Matty knows this, this is all about relationships. You can't be an asshole. You can't portray yourself that you know more than anybody, but also you cannot go around and just, you have to be kind to people. You have to answer their questions, but you have to be sincere. You have to be honest. You have to be, more than anything else, humble. People call me the professor. They call me the guru. They know. I said, look, that's very nice and all that. But even though I've been smoking for 55 years, I'm still asking questions, because the only way that you really learn, Tom, is asking questions.
That's right.
My opinion.
Yeah. Gotta keep learning.
That's why he's the professor. And like I would say, I would say for me, there's nobody, when you sit and you do one of Jose's seminars, it's not just about the cigar, the knowledge and what you pick up and what you learn. And that's why I gave him that nickname so many years ago. When you come to the table and you do something with cigar, it's not about, here's what I know. It's not about cockiness. It's not about, hey, I have 5 decades. It's what do you taste? What do you smell? What's being derived from this smoke? And I've been around a long, long time, as a consumer for almost 30 years. I could promise you, except with this sexy bastard behind me, I could promise you there's nobody else who does it the way that Jose does, that's worthy of being called a professor. And he invites you to learn about it. So when your passion is there, and Tom, that's the same with you and what you guys do with your seminars for whiskeys and bourbons and fine spirits. Learn this is your passion, but let's go really deep into it. Let's understand about the blend. Let's understand about where it comes from, and let's understand about the cultural points of the cigar. And Jose is that one person that's always done that throughout the years, shared that knowledge. And when you can knowledge transfer somebody, people in most industries, even outside of cigars, don't have that willingness or that ability to do that. And Jose always has, and has always shared that passion and the love of tobacco with us and everybody around him. And much love and much respect for that, because there's not too many people in the world that do what Jose does when it comes to that.
And Matty, thank you for your kind words. But let me tell you something, Tom. Anybody that I've done this for such a long time, that I've had like cities and shops that I've seen year after year that I go to do it. People have done it once, twice, 3, 4 times, and the third time I said, "Why are you back?" He says, "Because I've learned, and I know that in every seminar you always add something new to it." But let me put it to you this way. Our industry, like I said, is the greatest industry in the world. And this is something that I've always criticized about our industry. If you look at the wine industry, hold it. Jasper, if you look at all the other industries, there's so many books, there's so many DVDs, there's so much stuff. But if you look at our industry, that is something, to be honest, we lack that. The more educated the consumer is, it's better for the retailer. The better educated the retailer is, it's better for the salesperson or the distributor in the country. And I firmly believe in education, education, and education. And what you're doing, Tom, and other of your colleagues are doing is just like a door-to-door salesman, but through new technology, and
right.
People are learning.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, if you have good people doing this, people will learn and they will consume more.
That's right. Education is so important, and Jose brings that. When people come to your seminars, I mean, what do you find that whether they're fairly new in cigars or whether they've been at it for a while, what do you think they really enjoy the most about what they learn?
Well, I'll put it to you this way.
Yeah.
The majority of people that do the seminar, after they do the seminar, I would say 90+% of the people say, oh my God, I didn't know about the influence of the wrapper. I didn't know about this on curing. I didn't know this about fermentation. I didn't know this about aging. I didn't know the impact of the pH in the soil, the magnesium, the nitrate. I mean, it's so many stuff. The difference between mold and plume, which is a huge discussion till this day, which I avoided because there's people that don't understand that molds and plume are two totally different things. Plume is the crystallization of the essential oils, and it's like a light mist dust on it, which you can take away. But when you have mold, it could be bluish, it could be greenish, it could be like a foam. And that is created by the excess of humidity and heat. And you see people, oh my God, you know, so-and-so told me that, and they show me photos with totally foam on it, which is mold, that was good for the cigar. But it's not only that, it's a lot of things we talk about. I'm going to tell you a story. I was doing an event in Dallas one day, and we had 38 people who paid to do the seminar. So outside are two guys, and I asked them, aren't you not going to do the seminar? And they go like, nah, we're not going to learn anything. And I said, okay. And I asked them, how long you been smoking? The guy said 10 years. The other guy says 15 years. I said, okay, let's do something. It's $35. I took out $70. I gave it to the owner. Let's do this. If you guys can get through of the questions I'm going to ask, if you can get 3 right out of the 10, I'll pay for that. And the guy said, oh, yeah, go, sure, we'll do it. So Matty knows how I do it. I start from right to left, and I start asking everybody, what are you picking up on this? What do you think are the 6 elements in the blend? What do you think about this, about that? So at the end of the seminar, I ask everybody, what have you learned today? So instead of going from right to left, because they were the first two on this side, I started at the left, and this guy said I learned about this guy said I learned about that. So when it came to number 39 and number 40, number 39 says he brings out the $35 to give to me. He says, man, I didn't know shit. And the other guy says, I don't want to even comment, this is embarrassing. So what I'm trying to tell you is that at the end of the day, we're trying to teach people how to smoke, how to take care of their cigars, what to look in the cigar. Never judge a cigar by the color of the wrapper. The simplest thing is that people tend to confuse flavor with strength. You can have a mild cigar that's full flavor, and you can have a cigar that's just strength. We talk about the importance of flavor. We talk about strength, about aroma, about balance, about complexity, about finish. So it's about an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes. But take my word, Tom, people learn and they're happy, and they inbox me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. They email me everything. And every morning when I wake up, I have to take care between, I would say on an average, between the three ones that I handle, I would say between 18 to 22, 23 questions every single day. And I take my time to answer everybody, because I think it's a disrespect not to answer. And even on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, I try to answer everybody, not even with a comment, with a like. I give them an answer. Good morning. I'm glad you enjoyed this, being bang, whatever it is. Because I think if somebody takes the time to take a photo of a product that you're representing and they tag you, you should give them a like and just a little comment. You're not going to write a novel, but good morning, how are you? Glad to see you enjoying, whatever it is. I think that's my way. I mean, if other people do it other way, but that's the way I like to do it.
Excellent. And I'm seeing there's several people that are watching that have been to one of your seminars. I hopefully will be able to go to one in the future. Much like you, Jose, obviously with my Why Whiskey Education Tour, I've had to put that on hold. I am doing some whiskey education classes that are virtual, and if you want to learn more about those, you can drop me a line. I'm going to put all the information up, but you can drop me a line here if you're wanting to learn about our virtual whiskey education classes at tom@bourbonblog.com. And there is one more link. It's bourbonblog.com/at-home, but I'm trying to find it. How can people find out about your courses? I bet yours will probably be going back up again, hopefully soon when the pandemic is over. Where can they find you or learn about yours?
Well, right now, to be honest, I'm not going to be in the States because I'm handling East Europe, West Europe, Asia, the Middle East. So who knows when I come back, but maybe who knows if one day Carlito and I want to do something special in some shops, and through Facebook and all the follows we have, it'll be it's a pleasure. I believe so much in this, Tom, that every day I'm researching more. I have a lot of people that I talk to because I'm still like in the learning process. And to be honest, I'm talking with some of the old timers that are still alive, like Benji Menendez, that we had him on our show, and we had him on Light Him Up. We did a special tribute to him. And that's why, and this is an idea, especially from Carlito. Carlito wants all this history to be preserved now that we have all this media. So in 10, 20, 30 years, when we're not around anymore and somebody wants to say how things were done, they can just go and see it. Like this blog that we're having today, you will see people in 5, 10, 15 years like, man, I heard about this guy, Tom, and that crazy Matty Rock. Let's see what the professor had to say at that time. So that is something that we wanted to, for the new generation, which we have a lot of very interesting people in the new generation, just to see how things were done. The same way I'm trying to find out how things were done in Dominican in the early days and in Cuban and Honduras. It's good to have like a reference for people to know what it's all about. Because I got to tell you this, people see the success of Fuente or Padron, all the things that Jonathan went through, and many other companies you keep forgetting, but people think that everything was daisy from day one. No, it was blood, sweat, and tears. Fuente got burned down in Nicaragua. They got burned down in Honduras. They had to start again. Padron, the same thing. Look what the Plasencias went through. Look what Joya de Nicaragua went through. Look what Guillermo's family went through with dictatorship. Hochi, my cousin, his father was put in jail for political reasons. So it's not that easy. People see the glory days, but they don't see all the things that people that go through, and especially family-owned companies go through in the tobacco business. It's very hard. You see the glory, but go back in time. Just look at Benji Menendez. They were the owners of H. Upman in Cuba, Montecristo in Cuba, Por La Rañaga in Cuba. They were multimillionaires in the 50s, and Benji left Cuba with $20 and had to start all over. And there was not only them. It was the Plasencias and many other companies, the Toraños and all those people that had to leave to really, find new life in Dominican and Honduras and Nicaragua and other countries. So there's a lot of history. And I invite people who are passionate cigar smokers to research history and learn about all the things that happen in this great industry. And I don't get tired of saying the greatest industry in the world. And then comes the liquor industry.
They are indeed incredible industries. And so not only for the stories and to understand the passion and where we've come from, you look towards the history. But when it comes to the blending and coming up with new ideas for cigars, you look to the history in the past a lot too, right?
Well, in a way, yes and no. And I got to be honest, because when you're making a cigar, you don't want to make something that, or try to imitate or try to achieve something that another company has made successful. You have to have your own style. You have to have your own, what we call signature. Like many times I go to a shop, people give me an unbanded cigar. I'm not going to say I get it right all the time. And I say, well, this is from this company, this is from this company, this company. Because you know more or less what that master blender likes to do, what his signature is. And I guess that would go the same thing with different bourbons and things like that you could do a blind test and you could say this is from, I don't know, from Macallan, from Dewar's, or from Tracy or Bull or Wilford Reserve or all these other things. Right?
That's right. That's right. Quite often I try to, a lot of times I'm right, but it's not always. I know what you mean.
And the truth of the matter of that is what I'm smoking right now. If somebody were to ask me, what does a Señor Real taste like? My answer's a Señor Real. It's not like, oh, this has the notes of this, or this is a Fuente, or this is a Padron, or this tastes like a Drew Estate stick. Jose, that's why I said one of the many reasons I call him a professor. You know what a Señor Real tastes like? A Señor Real. Because it was made with heart, passion. Somebody, like I said, Jose's incredibly modest. You know what? He did not call himself as a master blender, and there's not a lot of people who are worthy of the name, and Jose will deny. But you had a master blender, not just about sales and tobacco. A master blender made a stick like this. So when he made it, and I'm smoking it, you'll sit back, and people who've smoked for a number of years will look at you and be like, I don't have a comparison to what it is, because it's very much stands on its own. That's some cool stuff, man.
Let me tell you something. Talking about master blenders, I was on a show the other day with my good friend Eric at Cigar Dojo, and Eric and Jordan do a phenomenal show. And I was asked, yeah, that's another one that I blended. That's that's a great cigar. Hey, Sanj, please stop teasing me. Come on. And I was asked a question. If you were to put, who are your 4 candidates for Mount Rushmore? And I said, wow, that is a great question, but it's kind of hard. And then I said, there's a lot of people going to say, why not me? So after thinking, I said, the first person that has to be on Mount Rushmore, without a doubt, is the last of the living legends, which is Don Benji Menendez. Second would be Don Carlos Fuente. Third would be Don Jose Orlando Padron. And fourth would be maybe the least known, but the greatest tobacco man in Dominican Republic, Fernando Leon, who was the owner of La Aurora Cigars. And Eric said to me, I've asked that question many times, and I think you nailed it. But what's the greatness about those 4 people? It's their humbleness, what they went through, and their passion that they had about making great cigars. Because at the end of the day, Tom, take my word, it's all about passion. It's about tradition. It's about family. It's not about quantity. It's about quality.
Right.
And that is very, very important to me. And those are people that I've admired that I had the pleasure to work with 3 out of the 4, and it's just amazing. It's breathtaking what those 4 did for our industry.
Amazing. And it's José Blanco here on Cigar Saturday. We have just a little more time left, and thanks to everyone who's watching and asking some great questions. And as I mentioned before, like this, share this. So here in just a few minutes, we're going to draw the name, or the number it is actually, for that prize, that Janus coffee. Someone actually asked me, what am I sipping on? I'm pairing my cigar tonight with some Whistle Pig 15. This is one of my favorites, some really old rye whiskey, which I love bourbons with cigars, but I also love some very old rye whiskeys and some unique rye whiskeys with my cigars. Matty, what kind of are you smoking? One of Jose's sticks there, Matty?
Yes, sir. This is what I had on display, and that's what we were talking about. It's one of his Señorials. Now, as you recollect, I mentioned on other shows before, I'm very much into a Lancero cigar, which you see is the smaller ring gauge profile. And again, Mr. Modest over here won't say it. To create a Lancero that not just an incredibly tasty stick draw is the most important thing you're going to get on a Lancero, right? Because of its configuration. And you've seen I have not had to once since we were on this call have to relight this Lancero.
Right.
And Jose will tell you, just because of the configuration, to master the draw on a Lancero, you know, you'll see a lot of people throwing cigars against walls, cursing in multiple languages, you know, stuff of that nature. So when you smoke something like this, the flavor, the draw, the everything, that's how you know. So yep, one of Jose's Señorials. Love it.
Let me tell you something, Tom.
Yes.
It's good that
it's good. Too many caffeinated beverages.
Let me tell you something. It's good that Matty brought up the subject of Lanceros, because a lot of people, and I don't really care if a guy smokes a Lancero 7x38 or he's smoking a 7x70. At the end of the day, people ask me all the time, what's the hardest cigar to make? And people say, is it a Diadema Fino? Is it a Salomon? It's a Bellicoso? And I said, no, absolutely a Lancero. Because a Lancero is the hardest cigar to make. And the companies that have had successful Lanceros have 1 or 2 people. I'll give you an example. At Fuente, Lanceros, you'll hardly ever see Lanceros come out, but they only have 1 guy that makes them, and he only makes 25 cigars a day. Because for you to put, let's say, a blend that has 4 or 5 different fillers, for you to put in that, to bunch that cigar, to put on that binder, and then to put on that wrapper, so it's not loose, which will get very hot, or it's very tight where you cannot draw from it. It's perfection. It's the hardest cigar to make in the industry by far. And let me tell you something. Lancero, the only thing that I always advise people is to smoke it a little bit slower than a regular cigar. Even though I always encourage people to smoke slow. And I'll tell you something. People that complain about sourness and complain about bitterness in cigars are people that will smoke a Robusto, which is a cigar that has to be between 50 to an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes. And they smoke it in 25 or 30 minutes. What they're doing is blowing heat through the cigar. And what people don't understand, that the flavor is the essential oils that the filler, the binder, and the wrapper have. So when you're putting all that heat and you're doing 120 miles per hour smoking a cigar where the speed limit is 60, the essential oils are just evaporating, and it's like smoking paper. So I always advise people, take your time to smoke a cigar.
Take your time. You mean just take your time with it. Put a little bit more pause in it, right?
Exactly. I mean, and the other thing that I tell people is, when you're going to smoke a cigar, what's the first thing I ask in a seminar that you think of? People say, is my lighter going to work? Can I find a cutter? What am I going to pair with? And the first thing you got to do when you're going to light up a cigar is, how much time do I have? Why would you buy a Churchill 7x50 that's a 2-hour smoke when you only have an hour to smoke? Two things are going to happen. Or you're going to smoke half of the cigar correct, and $5 or $10 are going to go to waste. Or you're going to smoke the cigar totally incorrect. You have to take your time. If you have an hour, buy a Robusto, buy a Churchill, buy a Petit Corona. If you have 2 hours, buy a Churchill. If you have close to 3 hours, an A, 9¼ by 47. So it's very important for you to evaluate the time that you have to smoke a cigar and smoke it correctly.
I think that's so important. Just taking our time with whether it's what we're sipping on, what we're pairing, what we're smoking. Question from Duque, actually for both you and I. How can we develop more sensitive palates? What do you think for cigars? How can we?
That's a great question. I'll tell you, because I always tell people in the seminar, they ask me that. It doesn't matter how good if you only smoke one brand or you only smoke one country, you're missing the boat. The only way you're going to develop your palate is smoking different origins, different tobaccos, different sizes, and pair with different things. That's the only way. You're never going to have a great palate if you only smoke or Cubans or Dominicans or Nicaraguans or Honduras. You have to smoke cigars from everywhere to develop your palate. So what would your answer be, Tom?
Good question. My answer would be similar. When we're doing these, I know it's a little tougher with cigars, but when we're doing these whiskey education series, we like to do 5 to 7 whiskeys from different areas, whether it's a bourbon or rye, maybe a Scotch, maybe an experimental whiskey, but try several different distilleries side by side and take your time with it. And, we may have 2 glasses, go back and forth, notice the different varieties of nose, the varieties of taste, and, don't overwhelm yourself. Obviously, it's a little bit easier to do it with whiskey and with spirits than it is with cigars when it comes to having 5 or 7 near you. But do that, and then take that same lineup and then alter a few out next time and add some new to the mix and see what becomes kind of that anchor point of flavor to find what you like. And I agree. You may have one thing that you like going to a regular pour, regular bottle that you like, but always mix it up some and take notes. I guess. I mean, I may take notes here and there. I guess I do professionally more just to write reviews, but it's good that we can all take some notes. Any other things that, I know we don't want to give away everything in your seminar, and I know that we could learn so much from you if we had more time, but what are some other things that you think that just any of us, wherever we're starting at, that if we take our time, expand our palates with different regions, what else can we do to amplify and enjoy the experience even more that we may not know to do?
Well, one of the things is basically 2 things. Sometimes you have 3 or 4 people together smoking the same cigar, and this guy's picking up medium to full, spicy and earthy. The other guy's picking up sweety, earthy, peaty, whatever it is, and then they look at each other. Why? It's the same cigar. And I guess it's the same thing with spirits, because taste is subjective. What you eat, what you drink, if it's hot, if it's cold, the scenario where you're at enjoying everything affects the cigar. And the other thing is, and this is a mistake made by cigar smokers all over the world, never judge a cigar by the color of the wrapper. People see Maduro. They see a dark cigar. Oh, it's going to be strong. No, I can guarantee you that 80 or 85% of cigars that are Maduro are just a medium and a medium plus, and with some exceptions, are really full flavor, full body cigars. What does Maduro mean? Maduro means ripe. What is the process? The process for Maduro is it's a natural fermentation process with heat and a little bit of water that you do to unify the colors of the wrapper. That's simply what it is. So I can go into a cigar shop and I can see 50 cigars, different brands with a light color, that are much stronger than a Maduro. So never, ever judge a cigar by the color of the wrapper. And that is absolutely a huge mistake that people make.
Right. It's not just about the color wrapper. It's so much more. You got to and I would imagine you get tested some with the blind cigars. Do you like trying cigars blindly, not knowing what you're trying, so that you can? What do you think of that?
Oh, I love that. To me, I think that's one of the greatest challenges that we have. When the companies that I've worked to, we always had our panels. Sometimes we would send out cigars to people that we trust their palates to get your opinion. But we're at the factories also, you're smoking blind to really come up. Because as soon as you see a band on something, already you have a preconceived thought about what it is, because you know the maker or you know your own stuff. So blind to me is very it's very important. You get to learn a lot. You train your palate in a much different way. So I love blind, and I love when I go to the shops that people give me a cigar and said, Jose, what do you think about this and that? And it's, to me, it's really fascinating. Look, I'll put it to you this way, Tom. The art of blending is so unique that you could give to Carlito, to me, to Pepin, to 3 other people, the same filler, binder, and wrapper, and all of us will make a different cigar because we all have our own style. We have our own signature. So that is the greatness of blending cigar, and it takes time. I'll give you an example. At Fuente, and we don't come out with a lot of stuff because, we have our core lines. Every cigar that we've made for the last 20 years, everything is in back order. But when we come out with something, or Carlito comes out with something, it's been something that's been in the process a year, year and a half, 2 years, even sometimes 3 years, because he's like a mad scientist in this lab doing all his things, but till he doesn't feel that it's right, he will not release it. And there are other companies that do a great job about it. But when you're blending, you have to take time. But at the same time, you have to have inventory. Like people that have gone to our factories and things like that have seen tobaccos that are 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old. The Carlito plays with it. And let me tell you something. Some of the rarest tobaccos that Fuente has, it's not even for regular production. It's for special events to raise money for the foundation.
Wow.
Because the foundation is, I would say, right now it's worldwide recognized by UNESCO and the United Nations and everything, because the foundation feeds 550 students every day.
Amazing.
Right now, they started with first grade many, many years ago, and already we've had our 5th graduation of high school, and now they're bringing in a technical thing. So those events that we do Toast Across America, and all the money that's raised is for the foundation, that a lot of people don't know where the foundation is, where the Chateau de la Fuente, that used to be a place where there was no future for kids or anything. And now we've had kids that have been graduated, that are lawyers, that are doctors, that are entrepreneurs and everything. So for Fuente and for the Newman family, that is their contribution to the Dominican Republic to really help the poor people of where the farm is, and it has been amazing. And Carlito, when it comes to the foundation, the best cigars, the best things he create is to raise money and to raise awareness about that little part of Bonao where Chateau de la Fuente is.
Incredible. That's great that you guys do that work. Again, José Blanco here on Cigar Saturday. It's such a pleasure to have you. And I know Matty's enjoying that José Blanco cigar. And I'll look forward to trying some very soon. Yes. Matty, do you want to pick the number tonight? We're gonna give away that coffee here in just a moment. What number do you want to do between 1 and 23?
We'll do 15 because Amy said we're doing 15.
All right, we're doing 15 going down. All right, that winner is Will Broussard. So Will Broussard looks like he's from Minnesota. I'm on his Twitter now. He is the winner. Thank you, Will. Thanks for everybody watching tonight. This video will be up permanently. If you joined us a little late, it will be up permanently. Make sure you subscribe to whichever of the Facebook or Twitters or even our YouTube channel it came from. We will also upload the audio to our podcast channel. If you're a podcast fan, make sure you subscribe to our Bourbon Blog podcast. Would love to have you back on, Jose. This has been so much fun, very informative. Would definitely love to have you. And you joined us so late there in, is it Macedonia you're in?
Yeah, in Macedonia.
So thanks for joining us late. Hopefully we'll see you sometime soon for a seminar. Matty, who do we have next week? Do we know who we have next week?
Next week we have our one of your brethren, Mr. Frankie Drank, over in the Jewish State side. So I'm going to have to learn from both you guys on the spirit since I'm out of that world, and then the non-adult beverages like Virgil's root beer for me.
Tom, there's one last thing that I would like to
please go ahead.
To all the people who are listening tonight, we're going through a very tough time in our industry. Even though we had a great ruling from the judge for the FDA, I encourage everybody to join Cigar Rights of America, which is the last line of defense. If we do not all stick together and raise money for the CRA, our industry could be totally wiped out. Thank God we had a good ruling from the judge. We've just won a great battle, but a great battle does not mean that you have won the war. So to all our brothers and sisters of the Leaf, all the people who are passionate cigar smokers, join the CRA. It's $35 a year. You'll get 2 amazing cigars from the top people of the industry, and you will support a organization that is fighting for us to continue in this business. Because if the FDA keeps coming down on us, there will not be an industry. They just want to wipe us. And we pay our taxes. We're adults. We don't target kids. And like I said, again and again, this is the greatest industry in the world. So, Matty, thanks for having me. And Tom, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Of course, whenever you guys
want.
You
as well, my friend.
I'll be here. Keep up the great job, Matty. Try to behave. And Sanj, please get a hold of yourself.
Thank you, gentlemen. Much love.
He's getting a hold of himself. But what are you saying? What are you saying?
Good night, guys. It's a pleasure.
Okay.
You guys are too much fun. Thank you so much.
Macedonia. Give my love to everybody. Much love to you and blessings. Much love to you. Thanks for being family. Much love to everybody who tuned in this evening.